Hello folks, it's Kissing88 here and I have been scammed. Have a look at these two packagings of what's meant to be the same set of strings. Elixir Polyweb, acoustic strings. I use 11s because I prefer the lighter tension in my steel string guitars. Yeah, so they look very similar. I mean, if you look very closely, there's a bit of font differences. So for example, if you look at where it says warm, slick and fast here and where it says there, you can see that the font is a bit different. Subtle differences here and there. In fact, I've actually forgotten which one is fake and which one's genuine because it's been sitting on my desk and I haven't really been paying attention. So you know, but you can really tell if you have a genuine one and a fake one side by side. If you have a look at the packaging of the string itself, again, very similar, identical text and numbers. This one, which is actually the fake one, you can see that the font is quite bigger than on that one. But yeah, very similar. I've been fooled. I purchased the fake ones on eBay, so when I went looking for the strings, I noticed that there was a bunch of listings from sellers who are not music stores, and they were selling it at half the retail price of what they typically go for. So I'm in Australia, and I purchased it off a listing from a seller that had quite a positive rating. I think it was like 99% positive rating, and it was listed at $15 or $16 thereabouts, whereas they normally retail here for about $30 Australian. The genuine ones I purchased from a local music store, Scarlet Music, so I know that it's a genuine product. I mean, when the day comes that music stores sell counterfeits, then I don't want to live on this planet anymore. Okay, so let's have a look at the strings themselves. So I'll bring the camera closer. So they are just a uncoated string, and I actually didn't realize that they were fake until after I installed it. And I thought, oh, that's strange. I remember the Polyweb series of strings having some sort of coating. That's their whole sort of gimmick. The coating gives them a different feel and also prolongs the life. And as you can see in the genuine string, which I've just gotten out of the packaging, oh, it's kind of wobbling. Maybe I'll hold it with two hands. You can see that there is a semi-transparent sort of coating on the outside of the string, and that coating ends as you get to the end of the string. And this coating is clearly not on the fake ones, that I have installed. How do the fake strings sound? Well, look, they're fairly average strings. Like, I wouldn't say they're great, but I mean, they do what acoustic strings are meant to do, right? I have a sneaking suspicion that this is actually not an 11 set, but it's actually a 12 set in terms of its gauge, because I had 11 strings on this guitar originally, and then after I switched to these fake elixirs, the tension felt heavier. I had to adjust the truss rod to get the neck straight again, and it just feels like a 12 gauge set. Either way, I'm going to swap these out because I don't feel comfortable having a fake, unlicensed, off-label, counterfeit product installed on my guitar, because if their packaging is 100% fake, how can you trust these strings on your guitar? And even already, I'm already sort of concerned that it's not the tension and the gauge that it says on the packaging. So let's swap these out and see what happens. I might leave the camera rolling, and I might do one of those cool fast-forwardy things that YouTube influencers do. Okay, I thought I would pause the fast forward there because I've taken off the thickest string, and just to give you a side-by-side comparison between the fake one, which I've just taken off the guitar, this one on the here, and this is the genuine one. You can clearly see that the genuine one has this polyweb, we'll get that to focus, polyweb coating, whereas the fake one is just a plain uncoated string. Okay, so I managed to finish changing the strings. I I think I might have poked myself with the fake strings while changing it, so I've shed some blood on those fake strings. So yeah, so I've just tuned these up. Now, what I describe will be purely subjective because I don't think you'll be able to tell the difference from a recording. So you just kind of take my word for it. The genuine strings definitely feel like they have a deeper, warmer tone with a lot more sustain. Something about it just feels a lot more balanced and more warm with more low end, a lot more bass in the tone, which is actually quite pleasant to listen to. The fake strings, while they sort of sounded like one, they sounded like what an acoustic guitar should sound like, but something about the tone was just a bit. It's like the different frequencies were sort of clashing with each other, whereas this one it feels like it blends, each string blends in better. Another thing I'll point out is that the strings feel easier on the fingers as well, and I think that's my this may be a confirmation of my theory that I mentioned before, that I thought the fake ones, even though it was labeled as a 11 to 52 custom light set, it may actually been a 12 gauge set, and that would make sense because the 12 gauge set is the most common. It's considered the standard, most popular string gauge set for acoustic guitars, and they thought, okay, well maybe we'll just put the 12s into all the different kinds of sets. That's why, and that way they're going to save money. I mean, if a fake sort of counterfeit string maker sort of thought, okay, I'm going to make a fake set of strings and not bother having the coating, that is the whole point of these Elixir Polyweb strings. Why would they bother, caring about having the right tension and right gauge in what's indicated. I mean, if it was anything else, you know, it'll be ridiculous. Like, for example, if you bought medicine and the medicine was a counterfeit, then, you know, how do you know that any of what's in the packaging, the actual medicine itself, contains what it says it contains? You know, who knows what you're putting into your body? So I'm really glad I swapped out the fake strings for the real strings. It makes the instrument sing and sound like what it's meant to sound like. And just to let you know, I put in I asked the eBay seller who sold me the fake strings to give me a refund. They refused, so I put in a dispute via eBay, and eBay decided on my favor and gave me a full refund. So yeah, that's all, folks. Look out for counterfeit strings. This is probably not the only brand that gets counterfeited. I'm pretty sure other types of strings, like for classical guitars or ukuleles, maybe they also get counterfeited too. For the Elixir Polywebs, the telltale sign is whether they have the coating or not. But that being said, I think the surefire way to get genuine strings is to purchase from someone who's a reputable seller, such as a properly established music store. Because who knows, you know, what if the counterfeiters decide to also replicate the coding? I mean, you never know, right? They can reverse engineer anything. Anyway, I hope that video has been informative, and yeah, all the best of luck out there in getting genuine strings. Thank you and goodbye.